Hello everyone and welcome back to Clothesline. My name is Oren, and yes, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded one of these videos, but still, it is a passion of mine. I love to talk about professional wrestling, be it in Hebrew or in English, but still, I love talking about it. So I wanted to bring this video to you about 5 things that I think that should happen in the world of pro wrestling. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that on July 16th, WWE will be back with crowds during their weekly programming. That's right, July 16th will be with crowds, with attendance, with audiences. I don't think or know if it's in full capacity, but still, it's glad to see finally some real faces in the audience. Farewell, Thunderdome, we're not gonna miss you. Now, to be honest, I wanted to post this video about a week ago, but I'm glad I didn't, because now I get the chance to address the rumors that has been circulating this past week about somebody returning to the WWE, perhaps maybe even main eventing SummerSlam. As you know by now, John Cena is rumored to be coming back to WWE, maybe headlining SummerSlam against Roman Reigns, I'm guessing, but to be frank, I wouldn't do that. Here's where I'm going with this. After almost a year and a half without audiences on a regular basis, they are finally coming back on their first show, and in my belief, I don't think it should be a regular show. In fact, because this is the first show coming back with full attendance and audiences and crowds, they should be treating this show like a mini pay-per-view. Plus, if you want to boost up the ratings, that's your chance. So what would I do? I mean, you got a month and a half. There's only rumors that John Cena is coming back, maybe even for a one-time appearance. So why not just tell us, yeah, he is coming back, and you got a month and a half to build this major fight, this major match against Roman Reigns, and give us that as the main event of the first SmackDown back with audiences. John Cena, Roman Reigns on the first SmackDown back. Just think of the ratings. I mean, you could build this up to SummerSlam, but the fact is that people have been waiting patiently and eagerly to return to watch the WWE superstars perform live. This is the first show back. You gotta make it a major show. So yeah, in my opinion, the first SmackDown back, the main event of that show should be John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling has been on a roller coaster ride ever since they came back from the pandemic to the live shows, with people getting injured, unfortunately, and people are getting positive with Corona. It's a pretty hard time to be a New Japan fan. Just when we thought we're gonna get one of the biggest matches of the year, when Ospreay versus Okada, Ospreay unfortunately is injured, he has a neck injury, and he has to vacate the championship. Which, by the way, I am not a fan of. I will always be a fan of the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental Championships. I don't like the new scheme and the fact that they gave up the Intercontinental Championship. But let's get back to the point. New Japan announced that on Dominion, June 7th, will be the match between Shingo Takagi taking on Kazuchika Okada, and the winner will be the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Which is awesome, but if you ask me, we all know where this is going. And this is where I want to see something different, something new, something fresh. I want to see Shingo Takagi beat Kazuchika Okada and become the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Just think about it. Dominion has always been a pay-per-view that delivers with big shockers. So what a better way to shock the wrestling world once again, and also elevate one of their biggest rising stars to date in Shingo Takagi by having him beat Kazuchika Okada and win that IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I think it could be tremendous. I think it could be a very bold move and a big statement by New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. The wrestling world has been buzzing these past few days due to the fact that all news outlets have been reporting that New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE have been negotiating a mutual partnership. And by mutual partnership, of course, I mean WWE becoming the exclusive partner for New Japan Pro Wrestling, thus getting rid of the entire competition. Forbidden door, we're gonna slam this door shut. But actually, that is not the topic I want to talk about, because one of the points being made about this partnership is the fact that WWE is in a set of mind that it says to itself, hey, we have stars we're not using, so why not let them just fly over to New Japan if they want to, and then they can wrestle there. That way, they're still under contract with us, and they're happy they actually get to wrestle, which is a good point. However, for the past couple of weeks, there's been a rivalry brewing on Main Event between Mustafa Ali and Ricochet. Main Event? You know that show on Hulu? I gotta explain this. Remember Wrestling Challenge and Superstars? Exactly, just like that, and now it's just called Main Event. And here's my point. You can use that show. You can use that show as a platform for people you're not using on a regular basis on Raw or SmackDown, and just let them wrestle. Let them wrestle on Main Event. Let them have storylines on Main Event. I remember back in the day when they had Sunday Night Heat, and they had storylines going over there, like the one with Raven fighting almost half the roster. They had Stevie Richards becoming the GM of Sunday Night Heat. You can do all kinds of stuff with Main Event, because if you're not utilizing your talent, they're just going to waste. Let people wrestle. In fact, I'm going to watch that 2 out of 3 falls match between Ricochet and Mustafa Ali after I'm done taping this. It's been a while since the WWE has had a draft. I think almost 2 years maybe, and I think it's time to hold another draft. It's time to shake things up a bit. But we gotta do it differently. There have been all sorts of iterations and versions to the draft, and I think one version in particular really was the correct way to go. And of course, the 2005 iteration of the draft. If you don't recall, let me refresh your memory. It was 5 people from Raw going to SmackDown and 5 people from SmackDown going to Raw. That's pretty much it. I mean, you could also have a couple of more limitations. For example, no champion swap. But basically, you just have 5 picks for Raw, 5 picks for SmackDown, and then on a supplement draft, you could have it posted on WWE.com and also add maybe a couple of call-ups from NXT. Final thing I want to talk about this time is the Forbidden Door. Not exactly, because as you know, AEW has been open to working with different wrestling companies such as Impact and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But what about PWG? I mean, most of the guys there are from PWG. I mean, doesn't it make sense to utilize a PWG angle? You could do a PWG invasion, but that wouldn't make any sense, because basically 99% of the roster was a part of PWG. So what can you do? Well, there is one thing. Some of you wrestling hardcore fans know about a special tournament that Pro Wrestling Guerrilla used to host and have almost every year. That tournament being the Battle of Los Angeles. When I think about it, how come this isn't a part of AEW? The question is, when are you going to run it? So here's my 2 cents. You have about 12 dozen shows. I mean, AEW Dark, AEW Elevation, and soon you're going to have AEW Rampage. What's left? So basically, you have all those shows where you have new faces, up-and-comers wrestling on those shows. You have about 13 to 15 matches on each show. Why not utilize those shows to host the Battle of Los Angeles tournament? So you can have that tournament run on all those platforms, and then the winner of that tournament gets a guaranteed AEW contract, you know, because he needs a storyline, and also give him a world title shot. I'm a huge fan of tournaments in the world of wrestling, and the Battle of Los Angeles is a great fit to AEW, so I'm just wondering how come they haven't used it yet. So those were 5 things I wanted to talk about in the world of professional wrestling. Let me know in the comments below, do you agree or disagree with my opinions? I would love to read your comments. And also, if you want to stay notified when I'm uploading these videos, hit a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button, and I'll see you next time on another Clothesline editorial, review, and whatever. Thank you very, very much for watching and subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Have a good week.